So it feels like Nebraska's kind of become the annual stuff up opponent. Is that by design or just the way the schedule has worked?
I think it's the way the schedule worked, a little by design too. They always bring a good crowd. I think it makes sense. And you always want packed houses whenever you're playing. So we got a new section over here for Spike Squad, and so that's brand new for us. And should be a nice environment on Thursday.
I mean, obviously the challenge continues in Big Ten with Nebraska coming. Just what about this year's Nebraska team is tough?
They were young last year. They're a year older this year, and so that group's played together a little bit more. They're good in the front row. They're good in the back row. You got to be playing your best to have a shot at them. So we saw a lot of things this weekend that were good. We just got to connect a few more of those plays, especially against a quality team like Nebraska.
This past weekend, what do you feel like is maybe a missing piece?
I don't think there was that much missing other than just we didn't connect as many plays together as we wanted to. I felt like we did a lot of really good things. We served well at times. We passed well at times. We played defense well at times. We attacked well at times. We just didn't do it all at the same time at certain times. And so obviously that's the name of the game, is the consistency of it. And the opponents are good, and the good opponents are going to force you to do that. So not that any pre-conference opponents weren't good, but I think it just forced us to play a little bit of a better game, and we found ourselves off the net way too many times, giving way too many freebies. So we kept more balls off the floor. We passed as good as we passed all year, but we didn't convert some of those plays. And obviously disappointing when you see that, but it's also a learning lesson, and you got to keep moving forward.
The consistency is kind of like this big thing for every team. Like, how difficult is that process to maybe have that level you're looking for all of the time?
Yeah, it's tough, and a sport like ours, if you blink, you're down by 5-6 points, and that's what we talked about in the beginning part of practice. It was just like, hey, teams are going to have a good server, they're going to have a good rotation, they're going to have a good defensive, offensive rotation, but we got to come with the mindset that we're scoring points and as best we can. And so the consistency part of that is tough. But it's 3 sets by 2 points. Our game is set up to kind of ebb and flow a little bit. Obviously, you like to finish every match 3 in a good way, but teams are really good this year, and they've always been good. But you just got to be ready to battle, and we can't find ourselves down 5, 6, 7 points. Teams are of high caliber, too good to come back on, and it makes it tough to crawl back in. But we just need to play a little bit more consistent, get out some of the rotations that aren't our strongest a little bit quicker, play really smart volleyball, and over a long period of time.
We've had essentially the same rotation all season, just Carolina House maybe a little different. Have you been tempted to tinker at all, or do you like what this group has done, or maybe what they can do?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, it's not always just one change out that you go with. If you change one player out, it changes the dynamic, it changes who else has to go in, so on and so forth. And so right now the passing unit's been out for a bit. That's usually the main reason for keeping what we've been doing. But we have people ready to go in case we need it. But I've liked what we've seen in certain chunks. I like to be a little more consistent in it, like we mentioned. But so far they're playing good, and but we have some other options if need be. But right now it hasn't been too bad to start making changes, and we see what we see in practice every day. So I think that's what's tough for fans is they don't see that, and we do, and we got to make those decisions based on what we see in practice.
I mean, just watch Taylor and take some big rips. Just what's her last year plus been like, maybe to get back to this point where she can be out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's great that she's out here just in general. We've been really easy for her to walk away from the game and just take care of her health. But I mean, the kid wants to be at a high level, and last year at this time she was still sidelined and not even out there on the court taking reps. And so to go where she was last year to this year, where she's out here and taking good reps and taking some good reps, it's great to see. And we look forward to have her contributions, and she's doing great for us now, and we'd be surprised to see her out there at some point this year.
I mean, how much did you just have to ease her back in after all of last year? Man, not to put too much stress.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was still a learning process for us too. And if we had certain days that were better than others, and she had to learn how her body kind of responded if she got ill, or if she had a down week, her immune system being down. She had to understand how to do that. So there was some ups and downs in the spring, but every month that's gone by, she's done better and better, and she's been more consistent with her health and being out on the floor. So it's been good to see.
So you got close look at Nebraska when you worked for John. Just what has he done there that's made them into maybe what they are as a program?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resources for him. But he's a big driver in that too, and being able to get a lot for the program, and amongst the state too. I mean, you saw the match last year where they put 92,000 people in a football league. That can only happen in a few places in the country, maybe the only place in the country that can happen at. So he's done a great job of running the program and getting the fans engaged, keeping the fans engaged, and their attraction for top talent. So you're always going to face off against the best when you're playing against them. Obviously, we're trying to do that here too, but they do a nice job of what they do with their program.
Harper leads them statistically, attack-wise, but they've got 3 others that are right there, and like Taylor Lanford's not even really playing. Like, just when you've got that across the net, what's the focus have to be on your side?
Yeah, I mean they're going to play who they're going to play, and they've shown different lineups throughout the year. They can flip in and out a little bit more easily than most, and so when you ever see that, you just want to focus on the quality of play on your side of the net, and you want to really try to focus in. Again, you're not going to stop everyone on that front row, on that front line, but can we still serve tough? Can we still keep them off the net? Can we score when we have the opportunity to score? I'm not sure it's a match where you're going to have capability to just give them an easy free ball and they're going to give it back to you. They're going to make you pay. So it's really about executing well and making sure that you're coming after them, and they're going to be ready for it. But so are we.
I guess Texas might argue, since they've won the last 2 titles, that they're at the top of the stack right now. But is there an aura about Nebraska volleyball just in the last decade? And a title, two titles, 3 runner-up finishes. I mean, are they just kind of the team?
Yeah, I mean they've been up there for a bit. Obviously, I was a part of that for a couple of years, and it's a nice program. I mean, you're looking for try to do something good every single year. Before I got there, they had a few years of a drought, but since then it's been really good for them, obviously, and making a lot of finals, championships, Final Fours. They've done a nice job, so hats off to them for what they've done. I've seen it firsthand, and again, we try to emulate it here as best we can.
Did you spot check the Spike Squad's work? Putting the bleachers together?
It looks good. They're the ones that have to stand on it, so I'll leave that quality check up to them. Good? All right, thanks, guys.